Hey everyone, I'm Amy from Monera Financial. Welcome to episode 19 of the World DVC show. We have a great show planned for you today. We're going to talk all things Monera Financial. We have some market updates, and of course, we're going to be giving away some prizes.
Hey Amy, so when you slide in, just make sure you get a good running start with the chair, and then it doesn't fall over, okay?
That's not happening.
Daddy, look, a giraffe. I can't believe we can walk through the castle.
It starts with a spark, alive in our hearts, a chance to build your legacy. To go to magical places with smiling faces and value and trust you can see. When it's buying or selling, renting or lending, there's a wonderful dwelling with wishes unending. You'll save a lot when you believe. So go with the team who will achieve your dream. Enter the world of DVC.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering the world of DVC, the ultimate DVC destination where magical vacations meet incredible value through exceptional service. Put in your headphones, turn the volume up, sit back, relax, and step into the world of DVC.
Just wish on a star. Enter the world of DVC.
Happy November!
You know what's so funny? We just had in
We
the
never know what to say when it comes out.
Hi, everyone.
Jeff sings us out of the intro into here. And we literally, because we just have so much fun doing the show, we're like, I don't know who's going to talk first. Is it you? That's why we stumble over each other. People love that.
So in our little town, which is where our offices are located, there was the Windermere Night of Music. I don't know if you guys saw that on Facebook at all.
Yes.
But they had like all kinds of music and entertainment go on.
Nice.
And Sarah, who is our main vocalist.
Oh, yes, I did see it. Was that that was
she
in Windermere?
performed.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
so
She was one of the main
wonderful.
performers.
Oh, my gosh.
My God,
So
that's
shout out to
awesome.
Sarah.
Sarah Whittemore. We just
How
love
cool
you.
is that?
Yeah, she was doing a show, I think, too, up in D.C. or some Christmas holiday caroling, and I listened to it on Facebook, and she just gives me goosebumps.
Around
She's
this
awesome.
time of year, she
Yeah,
starts to pop
she's
up
pops
everywhere.
up everywhere. Yeah, look
You
up
know who
Sarah
doesn't
Whittemore.
pop up to sing? Me.
Well-
Because nobody wants me to sing.
We need to go karaoke one night.
We
with
do.
you.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, you and Michael Bublé.
Welcome
Yeah.
to episode number
Oh my gosh.
19.
19.
We think it's 19.
We think last one could have been a 19.
Who knows? Welcome, everybody. We cannot believe
We're
it's
old enough to vote.
November, and the power of special effects have erased my beard that I had on the last episode.
And you know what else?
My wife couldn't have been happier to have me
It's,
get rid of the beard.
It's your birthday month.
It's my birthday. My birthday's coming up in 2 days.
2
November the 18th,
days.
same birthday as Mickey Mouse.
Oh, we should have done that as a trivia
That's all
question.
right. That's all right.
I think that our
Yeah.
Mine was
audience would
last
know.
month, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
First of all, mine's 50, so mine's the big
Okay.
50.
Counts. You're like
So-
2 quarters now.
Give me a little something extra for that. So, yes, we actually celebrated early thanks to my brother and sister-in-law who work over at Universal Studios as
Right.
paramedics. They treated me for my birthday 2 nights at Cabana Bay. And then they also got a cabana
Oh my
at
gosh.
Volcano Bay. So a private cabana at Volcano Bay. It's my first time ever to be at Volcano Bay, and that place is crazy.
I've heard that that's one of the best places to get a cabana.
Oh, my God.
That's like,
It
that's
was
so special.
amazing because
Yeah.
they bring you, you have, your drink service and all that stuff. But even most importantly, which is so cool because that park is so huge, that they have this special system. It's called a tapu system, which is basically like a fast pass. But the advantage of being in a cabana is you don't have to go to the ride itself to do your tap in to say come back. You have your own screen
how nice.
in the cabana. So as you're sitting there with a pina colada or a beer, you look to say, let's see what ride we want to do next. And then you do it,
fun.
you tap it up, relax and then stroll over when it's your time. And
Wow.
it helps
I
with
like
the
that.
lines. The rides were incredible. So
Did you go on the big volcano
Yeah,
slide?
You did?
I didn't even know that I was going on that. I seriously started to walk, and then I kept walking. I don't know what these
Do you have
rides
a
are.
picture? Do they take pictures on that slide?
Yeah, I think I burned it. But you kept climbing up. It's so funny you say that because my brother did not do it. So he said, "Hey, I'll just wait for you down here, bro." And I kept climbing. And
Isn't
climbing.
your brother like the thrill one of the two?
For some
Not
reason,
anymore.
he's smart enough to know this.
He works there.
I don't want. He
Yeah.
works there.
It's like the Coke machine at the Coke place at Epcot.
Yeah.
Like the cool whatever that's
Yeah.
called, and you give everybody that.
The Beverly.
The Beverly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd only know that if you've been here a time or two.
I think that's kind of.
Did
what-
you like
what it
lose
was.
your shorts on that ride or something?
Yes. It was like the Price is Right game where that little.
Oh, the little yodeling guy.
Yodeler would
Yeah.
keep going up. I kept going up
Cliffhanger.
and up and climbing all these stairs. By the time I got to the top, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so done. And then I looked and go, now I got to get down.
Oh my
And you literally get down.
That gives me like
I
sweaty
know. I
palms.
can't do
They
that.
put you in this, I think I can't remember the name of it. I just call it awful because they put you into like a glass tube. And then they don't tell you when they're going to just open up the floor, and immediately you launch into pure darkness, wrapping around the whole entire volcano, coming out, losing your shorts. I could not have made it back to that cabana fast enough and said, you better have a beer ready for me because it was awesome. It was awesome.
It's like a free, like a drop, like
Yeah.
like no seatbelt or anything because you're.
No.
My 5-year-old, as we drive by, because you can see that from the
Yes,
freeway
yes,
as you
right.
drive by, and we drive by it every day we go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And every day he's like, when are you taking me there, Mom? When are you taking? Now, granted, we have not even done the Slinky Dog because he's too afraid. But he wants to go on the volcano in Volcano Bay.
So yes, we could go on and on, but it was awesome. And what made me even more proud is that I was able to walk around that park and walk around Cabana Bay, knowing that we're kind of partners with them at the
Right.
World of DVC.
Yeah.
They're
Because
great
of
over
our
there.
swap program that you can take your Disney Vacation Club points and swap it out for things like tickets and things like hotels. And I think we might
it's
even
so
have a new
crazy.
partner.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, even with the swap program, we've had so many people take advantage of just trying out Universal if they haven't done it already or just want to extend that trip. And another thing is, I was on the phone with a guest today, and they were calling and going over points they're looking to buy. And they were like, hey, but our primary goal is like every 2 years or 3 years we want to cruise. So can you compare? And so we were doing their like dream cruise.
Right.
And it was a 7-night Alaska cruise. And directly with Disney, it would have been 680 points. And through our swap program, it's 261.
What?
261 because we just
And this is
gassed
per
over you.
person,
Wow,
but like
sure,
still.
but still.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
you're talking
Wow.
like
That's
a
huge.
70% savings.
Yeah.
So it's just awesome. And so with
Yeah.
that having so much success, we said, okay, why not add more?
Yep.
So we actually have a really exciting announcement coming in the next couple weeks. So stay
Mm-hmm.
tuned because we will do an individual episode on our YouTube channel for that. But it's a whole new way to use your points.
Do we even know what that is? I don't even know what
I've
it
been
is.
keeping it under lock and key. But yeah,
That's why
stay
she's
tuned.
the
We're
marketing
keep
director.
on growing on ways to utilize the swaps. And so as members say, hey, we love Disney, but want to kind of change it up, there's just so many more fun options.
That's awesome.
I love it.
This
Yeah.
is great.
There's so many great options. DVC Rental Store has some great things too as well. We talked last show about the discounted points and all the discounted
Right.
points that you can find on dvcrentalstore.com. And if you just go in, everything from $15 to $20 a point, I think it is.
Yep.
And the details of it is just incredible as far as like finding what resort you want to stay at, what date you want to be at. And you can just save a ton with the discounted points for DVC Rental Store.
And that's one of those you asked, we listened,
Yes,
right? And so
definitely.
it was very popular before COVID. And then when COVID hit, it made it very hard to find availability and be able to have members with points and matching. And so we said, you know what we need to do right now is really focus on confirmed reservations. And so now, as we're seeing a lot, especially with people who live locally, or if you're wanting to kind of extend that vacation and really do that try before you buy. So let's say you're already booked for your 6 nights and you want the 7th night. The discounted points is by far the best way.
Yep.
And our savvy guests know the discounted points and they're like, hooray. So all you need to do is dvcrentalstore.com. You check out that link that says discounted points. And to your point, you can find points anywhere from $15 to $20 per point. Usually they have a shorter expiration. So they may expire next month. They may expire in the next 3 months.
Yep.
So they are limited. but then you check the availability calendar, which is awesome. So we have a real-time availability calendar, so you don't have to be a member or log in. You can check and see what's available. And so, for example, like our family, as soon as that came back, I was like, here we go. So we actually, because we run out of points, we went ahead and we
That's
booked.
because you stay in cabins and grand villas all the time.
This is true. This is
Shocking.
true. We booked Vero Beach in the middle of January.
Oh, nice.
And so when I went to check for situations like that, because Vero Beach has a lot of that last minute availability
Yes.
in the winter time,
right?
which is a beautiful time to go there. So it had almost the entire month was fully available.
Nice.
So we went ahead and booked, I think it was 17 points a night for a room. So we went ahead and booked that. I think it ended up equaling like $200 a night, which is a
Nice.
steal
Yeah,
of a
that is
deal.
a huge
So
steal.
again, if you're local
Yeah.
or looking to extend that stay, it's a really, really great option to play around with on their site.
Yeah, love it. DVCRentalStore.com.
And also,
They're great.
before we get into some of the new Disney Vacation Club news that's coming, we, of course, has to hype up our special guest that's coming on
yes.
later. When I scoot away to bring in Amy Krieger.
Amy
That's
Krieger.
right. The
Yeah.
Amy Krieger. Many of you know Amy Krieger and her counterpart, Paul. Amy is with Monera Financial and a fantastic addition to this team. So she's going to be on in just a little bit to talk about all things Monera, answer financing questions, put everybody's mind at ease about how easy, and it really is that easy, to finance with Monera.
And Amy's a former teacher. So no one better to teach us
Oh,
about
yeah.
Monera than Amy Krieger, because she just can simplify it, you know.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
And I
we're
want
so
to pick her
excited to have
brain because she just
Yeah.
came back from Mickey's
She did.
very Merry Christmas
Yes.
party.
I think I saw that.
So I would like to know all that goes on because I
Yeah.
haven't been back since.
You haven't.
No, it's been you recently. You went last year.
No. We went to the Halloween
The
party this year,
Halloween one,
but my
that's right.
sister was just here, and her family. I was in Indianapolis. That is some poor planning on my part, right there. I know, but they were here. I know, and but they went to the party and they just loved it.
Yeah.
You know, it's so special, and you know, the snow on Main Street. Like, some things were very similar to past, but you know what? I'll put a picture up of this. They gave a beautiful like lithograph.
Oh,
That's
nice.
frameable, and it's kind of like a throwback Disney of the characters. It's Mickey and Minnie in front of the castle. It is so darn cute, and it was one per person as you left, and then they give you an ornament, a little snowflake gold or silver ornament that said the date on it. I love anything with a date, you
Yep.
know, for Christmas. And I just thought that I didn't go, but I feel like I got to go a little bit because I feel like they just did such a great job with it.
Oh, that's
so we'll
awesome.
hear more from Amy
Yeah.
about the details of it.
And the weather's starting to become more holiday-esque here.
little bit,
The
yeah.
rain has finally subsided. That lovely Hurricane Nicole that breezed in and kind of breezed out. Yeah, so the weather's turning great. It's a fantastic time to go. And speaking of fantastic things, we have to talk about some great stuff with the DVC resale market. And if you guys have not seen, we've kind of blitzed everything all over social media and videos and everything else. We have a brand new program for a limited number of listings that are out there. So if you're in the market looking to buy, you need to go look for our listings that say starting with Magic. And you say, now, why would I look for those listings as opposed to another great listing? Well, Marissa and her incredible brain and our team here devised and found some perfect limited listings. So again, you want to be able to sort, you want to be able to filter, but basically you're going to have listings that have all of the 2022 points. So what that means is, well, that's great to begin with because you're not responsible for the dues for those 2022 points.
Right.
So either use them, book fantastic vacations with them, or we give you two other options as well that you could actually sell those points back to us for, I believe, how much was it? Up to...
So it's up to $15 per point.
$15 a point.
And basically, as soon as you close, you can say, hey, I want the cash back option. And it literally takes about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you just
nice.
submit your points and we give you the cash right away, transfer over. So it's a great way to get some extra spending money if you knew you're not using the points.
Yeah, either use the points, sell them back to us, or you could even transfer those points into theme park tickets, Disney one-day theme park tickets. So again, I was talking to someone on the phone the other day that was looking at one of these listings, and what they decided the best thing to do was for them just to sell it back to us because they're basically going to use that money for the 2022 points, and they're just going to use it for Disney dining. They might even buy some theme park tickets, buy some merchandise, all of that. So again, fantastic limited time offer.
And where can you buy
starting with
DVC
Magic.
and start with cash right away? And you're saving because it's resale.
Exactly.
Or start with Disney tickets for the whole
Right.
family. I mean, that adds up. And we just got
I was
news.
just going to say that.
that, prices are going
I
up.
know.
Direct
like
prices.
hot off the presses.
Well,
prices
there's-
going up.
Disney ticket prices that
Yes.
are going up.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you are looking to do that, this is the best way to save money on
It's
Disney
true.
tickets because those are going up. Annual passes are going up. So grab your tickets now because those prices are jumping. But in addition to that, prices are also increasing.
For buying direct with Disney. I feel like it's almost like some kind of cosmic joke per se. Like I feel like, didn't they just have a price increase and now we're having another price increase? So again, it just drives people to, when you do your research, to look to see, is membership going to be right for me? And again, we're here to answer all of your questions, steer you down whatever path is best for you, but to look at the savings that are even getting greater and greater and greater. So again, reach out to us at any time at the DVC Resale Market. We're here to answer all of your questions that you have.
And one tip with that too is when Disney directly increases their price on DVC contracts, it usually takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months to really realize within the resale market. So if you've been sitting on the fence saying, hey, I would like to buy or add on points, it is absolutely the time to do it. One, because the end of the year is usually when we see an influx of sellers. People are getting those dues bills, or they see what the dues are and go, are we using this as much? And then they look to sell. So in terms of like opportunity with contracts, we're usually going to see a 20 to 30% increase in our listings. So as a buyer, that gives you so much power in one, negotiating and options. And then two, it gives you the opportunity to buy now at today's prices versus what they're going to be likely in the next 3 months once it kind of realizes that Disney direct increase.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's great.
definitely. And I love that your team is so knowledgeable that you can pick up the phone, do something on chat just to do your research ahead of time, kind of compare both and see what works best for you. But I know.
Well, yeah, and I think that's what's so great about it, and I think why all of us that work there, we're all former Disney Vacation Club guides, but I think it's literally allowing guests to take their time to make sure that this is going to work for them. There's none of that, oh my God, I have to buy this today because there's a special, if there's any urgency, and we hear it every single day is, hey, Marissa, whatever happened to that one listing that I was looking at with it? It's gone already? So that's your urgency that you have there. But again, we're going to be here for whenever you're ready. Like Kerri said, reach out to us on chat, call us on the phone, shoot us an email. Any and all questions you have is what we're here for you. So and I wanted to mention too, before we bring on Amy, as I want to mention and say thank you to everyone from last month's show. It was great having Drew on. He inspired me to not run. but I learned a lot about it. But we asked all of you guys to let us know kind of what your dream stay would be. And thank you. We've heard from so many folks that sent us emails and they posted on our YouTube channel just all of their dream stays, which of course, some of them are not very surprising. I want a 3-bedroom grand villa at Alani over New Year's. I want that 3-bedroom. I want the cabin over Christmas at Copper
The
Creek.
ones I loved were like there was a couple that said like I want like a 2-bedroom to bring my grandkids with, and that was like you know what I mean. It wasn't like I'm not asking for the sun and the stars. And the moon.
The stars. It was
I just
something a
think
little
this
bit
would be the
more.
most wonderful stay for my family.
Right.
So thank you for everyone that did that, and we will be contacting you shortly to let you know about those little prize
We have
packs.
5 winners, so keep a lookout in your emails. We will let you know if you've won. And for this episode, I figured we had
I don't even know what she's going to say.
dun, 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 dun.
Really? I have no clue what
You want to
she's
give her
going
a little drum roll?
That's what I'm here for, guys. Give it all away. We had such great feedback from when we gave away the Disney gift card. And we know so many of you have plans with Disney trips coming up. And we know you have dream plans and real plans. So make sure to leave in the comments what your next Disney trip is. We'd love to know. And we are going to pick one winner to win another $150 gift card for Disney. And if you want to know our next trip to Disney,
Yes.
Miss Kerri will tell you a special
That's right.
fun event.
We are like taking over the parks basically on December 7th.
World of DVC
World
on
of DVC.
December
Yeah, not just the 3
7th.
of us.
No.
The entire World of DVC.
How many people are on our entire team? Director of staff.
63, yes. As the director of staff, I'm supposed to know these things. So 62 people and counting, because we have a couple people waiting in the wings to come on board. And so we are doing a company retreat on December 6th, and then we're doing an all-company day in the park. We'll be in and out of our emails and in and out of our phone calls and this and that to keep our businesses running, of course. But we will be taking over all 4 parks. the entire staff of World of DVC. So if you think you see somebody and go, I think that's Marissa or Derek or Kerri or Andy or Paul or Amy, you might be right.
And if you see us, put a note in the comments. If you want to get to know our teams, just head over to the websites, dvcresalemarket.com, DVC Rental Store,
Print out pictures
Monera.
of everyone.
You'll see all of our pictures
Be like, I know
there.
what Derek looks like.
You
I
might
don't
get
need that
extra
picture.
points towards that gift card if you find
How
us
are
in the
they going to
parks.
find us? I'm thinking we should probably ask the sales and marketing director if we can each wear one of those bucket hats. The World of DVC bucket
Those
hats.
bucket hats are so great.
I know.
Right?
So they can spot us
Either a
easy in the
bucket
crowd.
hat or a trucker hat or
Yeah.
something, right?
We'll be there.
Yeah.
So,
we'll
Kerri,
be
thank
there.
you for all
Oh
the
my
work that
gosh.
you've put into this. We are so
We're
excited
so
about it.
excited. And it's so fun because the team from Indianapolis, California, South Carolina, Northern Florida, Ohio, I'm trying to make sure I get everybody, Idaho, will be here in person as well. And some people haven't been to Disney since they were like 8 years old. And so to see Disney, first of all, now, after being, so many years ago, but also to see it at the holiday time. It's so special. And so I was making a list with one of the ladies up in Indianapolis the other day, and I was like, you have to catch this, that, this, that. And she was like, well, I'll be here for the weekend. I said, okay, then don't rush through things. Make sure you take in the Christmas trees and the holiday shows and the snacks and all of the little treats around, because there's just nothing like Disney at the holidays. So we're super
We love
excited.
meeting our audience. You
Yeah,
all know
so
that.
true.
You've stopped me before. You've stopped Marissa before. And we absolutely love it. So if you see us on that day, be sure to come by and say hi.
Please do.
We would love that. So what else? I think without further ado,
I think
correct?
let's bring her on. She's ready, right?
I think it's everybody get your, well, not if you're driving, but your pencils and paper and
Calculator.
Are we trading you out?
You're trading me out.
I know.
I'm going to be replaced with someone much more talented
Oh.
and prettier than I am. So you're in good hands.
Without further ado, let's welcome Amy Krieger.
Welcome,
Hi,
Amy.
Amy. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for being here.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. It's so fun to have you. We've had Paul, but you didn't make the entrance that your husband did a few months ago. We should put that up if we can. Right? The
Add
blooper
it
reel
in,
of
Jeff.
Paul Kreiger falling into. Amy has a much more graceful entrance to the show than Paul did.
I show that to so many people.
So funny.
It's always the same reaction.
How do we get that up on like a GIF? Like when you can plug in like.
Yeah, we need our
falling.
own gifts.
We do. We need our
let's
own.
add that.
But Amy, you're a year resident now.
Yeah,
in
a little
Florida.
bit more. Oh, yeah. So October, around the end of October.
And you moved from, let me remember, Wheeling, West Virginia.
Yeah.
Down to, don't remind me, well, I won't say the city, but as Nick calls it, South Florida.
South Florida. So we're between like Tampa and Orlando.
Yeah. How do you like it?
We love it.
You've been through 2 hurricanes.
Yep.
Nothing like coming in with a bang. Right?
Yeah. So this last hurricane, so the first hurricane, I love my mom, but she's a mom. And so she was all, worried during Hurricane Ian and just texting and just lots of messages. And so this past hurricane, my mom was here.
Oh my gosh.
So a whole
She's
other level.
herself.
Yeah. And so I told Paul, I was like, we should go buy some, some snacks, maybe some wine. But no, we had a really, everything was fine. We were safe. And I think it was good for my mom to be here because, I think she kind of realized, oh, okay, the roof's not going to blow off of their house.
Right.
They're fine.
Yeah.
And we had a really good time. We celebrated her birthday. And we were kind of stuck in the house for a little bit. So we played Scrabble, watched TV. And then I got to take her to Disney, when things cleared up. So.
Is she as much of a Disney fan as you and Paul are?
Oh no, she actually, her first Disney trip was us taking her.
wow, that's special.
Yeah.
So when was your first Disney trip then?
So I'm a very late Disney bloomer. I didn't really know a lot about Disney. I didn't go as a child. Paul really liked Disney, and so we went on a big family trip with my mom and his mom.
Were you dating at the time?
We were. We
Okay.
were like a couple years, dating, and so we took my aunt and my uncle and my brother, and we all went. I know I have this
You're good.
one.
No, it's okay. Yeah,
piece
this is what
that
ladies we do for each
gets
other.
stuck on my
So
glasses.
good.
And we drove down, which was it was just a really long drive,
Right.
but we only went to Disney for one day. And
Where'd
so
you go? Did
we
you
went
choose a park, or
we went to Epcot for the first half and Magic Kingdom for the second half.
That's
and
two good choices.
yeah. And so after we left, I told Paul, I said, I don't get it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't know what the big deal was. We didn't really know what we were doing. We hardly got to ride anything. We didn't.
Yeah.
It was paper fast passes back then. just didn't know. You know what I mean? We had not a very good spot for the fireworks, like clear back, at the end of Main Street. And so we left, and I was like, I'm good with that. I don't need to go back.
This story has a happy ending, though, right? Don't change the channel.
Maybe. So eventually, Paul and I decided to do like a real Disney trip. So that was 2011, the first one with our family, and we took a lot of people. It was hard to keep track of everybody.
It is hard when there's a group. Yeah.
And so we did it was only like a 4-night trip, but we did like the real deal. We stayed on property that time. We hadn't stayed on property the time before. We stayed at Port Orleans, French Quarter.
Nice.
So
And did like a dining package and just stayed on property the whole time. And that, I think, is when I started to like fall in love with Disney.
Sure.
It took us a couple years to go back again. And in 2018, we did just a big like 10-night trip. We stayed at Coronado Springs. Yeah, just Paul and I in January, and just fell in love, and that was when we started walking by like Disney Vacation Club booths, and we would kind of laugh to ourselves like, we can't afford that. But someday we're going to hit the lottery and we're going to stay at, Grand Floridian and Animal Kingdom Lodge and all these resorts that we really want to stay at. And then when we got home, I told Paul, I was like, we should maybe look into it or think about it. And have you ever seen The Butterfly Effect, the movie? How there's just all these like
with Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah. So like there's all these just little things that can happen in your life that like change your trajectory.
Of course, yeah.
And there was just a number of things that kept pushing us in the direction of purchasing Disney Vacation Club. And one of the ones that I always tell people is that I had a student in my classroom when I was a teacher back then, and when we got back from Disney, we would talk about it. And they were big Disney fans, and he was like, "Oh, well, we're DVC members. Are you a DVC member?" And I remember thinking and telling Paul, "I was like, if that kid can have Disney Vacation Club, maybe we can." Yeah. So that's when we started just like researching it, and it was like, I think we can do this. And
wow.
Yeah. So
what was your first resort that you purchased into?
Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Okay.
And we bought a resale contract, and it was 160 points. It was, I think we closed on it like around February. So we didn't waste much time.
Yeah. Had you stayed at Animal Kingdom before, or were you just drawn to it because of the location or the price, or it was so unique?
Yeah, it was just one of the like top of our list resorts.
Definitely.
Yeah, just love animals, really interested in the savannah. I think we had looked at actually moving that 10-night stay that was at Coronado to Animal Kingdom Lodge, and even just, we didn't know about DVC, we didn't know about renting points back then, and even moving it was like an extra $2,000 to a standard room.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we did it. So that was our first purchase.
And so in that 10-night stay, right? Because I feel like that's like the time where it was like, okay, now we're like Disney people. Was there a moment that you would say is like the most magical moment of that trip, or like a memory that sticks out the most?
Oh my goodness. That was such a great trip, and we did so many things. One of the things that we fell in love with on that trip was Hoop-Dee-Doo, which is one of Paul's absolute favorites.
Yeah.
And he has taken me back to that show. I think we've gone like
So
4 or
good.
5 times. Yeah, since then. And we took our moms when we took them. So that's one of the memories that sticks out.
Nice.
Seeing the fireworks, actually knowing what we're doing, the rides and the fast passes, and being able to like just do all sorts of really fun things together. It was just a really great trip.
I think we asked Paul a similar question when we had Paul on the show back in, oh gosh, it's been a long year. A while ago.
I can't tell you that date.
Maybe a year ago, actually, maybe last fall. And I remember we asked the same question about what was the magical moment? What was that moment? And he said, seeing it through your eyes. I know. Yeah. That's what he said, though. He said, when you can see it so much of your own and you come back time and time, he said, but then to introduce somebody and watch them fall in love with Disney is just like a whole experience of itself. So that's so nice, because then you guys you grow together and you make your own memories there too.
Yeah.
And and now DVC, you purchased into Animal Kingdom. You have another contract though, don't you?
We have 5.
A few.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it didn't stop at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
So do you? So you don't own everything. It's not Monopoly just yet. So what are your other 4?
So we have 2 Animal Kingdom contracts.
Okay.
And 'cause we just didn't know a lot back then. We wanted more points, so we ended up just, with the same resort. And then we added Grand Floridian later that year in December. Paul actually got it for me as a surprise, a Christmas surprise.
Oh, so nice.
And Derek was the agent.
Oh my god.
So that was back in 2018. Yeah, before we really knew you guys. And so we did that, and then in 2019 we were at Boardwalk during Hurricane. Oh, what was it?
Is it Matthew?
Dorian?
Dorian. Yeah, there was a Dorian.
Yeah, so it was the hurricane that never really came, but
Yes.
we were all ready and hyped up for it, and we stayed at Boardwalk, and we were just fell in love with the Boardwalk Resort, and we just, I think we did buy that one direct, and so we actually called from our room at Boardwalk, and they just picked us up, and
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, so there's that, and then we recently purchased through Derek again. Grand Californian this year.
Nice.
Yeah, in January.
Congratulations on that.
Thank
Oh my
you.
gosh. And you guys use it
Oh yeah.
not monthly, but it seems, I feel like I always see you guys at Disney.
Yeah,
somewhere.
we are. Before we were locals, we would come a lot. By the time we moved, we were coming down 5 times a year.
Right.
And what I really loved about it was also just using it to spread joy with our family. So one of the most memorable trips in 2019 in June, we took both of our moms and we stayed at a 2-bedroom at Animal Kingdom Jumbo House, and we spent the whole week with them. And that, for me was seeing Disney through someone's eyes who didn't get to really experience it the way I thought she should before.
Right.
So that was a lot of fun. And then ever since then, since we've moved, we come down and we'll stay for, we're going to the Halloween party and staying late. Let's get a room.
Yeah.
We're going to the Christmas party. We're going to a Moonlight Magic DVC event. So we do a lot of those, and then birthday weekends and stuff. We like to do those.
It's nice that you're local now. You can pop down and stay for the night and head home, and then kind of make up those plans again.
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
I saw, I think Paul post on Facebook last week. You've done every resort except for Hilton Head?
Hilton Head's our last one.
Oh, you got to get to
Yeah,
Hilton Head.
I
love
know.
Hilton Head.
So do you
know.
have that in the plans?
We don't have anything scheduled yet,
Yeah.
but we've got some, some other travel coming up.
I feel like we need another Keeping Up with the Kriegers.
We do.
at
At Hilton Head.
I really want to get to Hilton Head.
It's so
a
pretty up
lot.
there. You've been.
I have not.
You've not been to Hilton
No,
Head?
I need to go too. It's one of the few on my list to have
And you
at.
love Vero Beach,
I
don't
know,
you?
yes.
So it's got to be,
It's so
really
pretty up there. Yeah. And so the last time I went was with just a bunch of friends. We did a girls' weekend in Charleston and Savannah, but we stayed there in Hilton Head. And it was kind of in the January, February. So nobody was there. And you want to go in the summer or spring when there's activities, but we just wanted to shop and sleep and eat and laugh and
No,
and then
that
go into the
sounds
cities and stuff.
great.
It was awesome. And that resort, the cast are just, they're magical. Like Vero Beach. They just want to make it so magical for you.
Yeah, that's number one. We got to get there soon.
We need to do a location show.
Yeah.
Let's do
From
it.
Hilton Head. Yeah.
Let's
Jeff,
start
let's go.
2023
2023 at
at
Hilton Head. I love that
like it.
idea. Yes. And Amy, you just went to the Christmas party. We were talking
Yeah.
about the Christmas party earlier. How was it this year? We haven't been.
It was amazing. I took my mom.
Oh,
And,
so nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. So me and Paul and she went, and myself. I said that wrong. I was not. Yeah, I was an English teacher.
She's an English
too.
teacher, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
And some of the things that we really love. First of all, the cookies that they give out. There's Cheryl's cookies now. Do you know much about Cheryl's cookies?
I do know about Cheryl's cookies.
Yeah, so I send my mom and grandma
love Cheryl's cookies.
every Valentine's Day,
Oh.
and they love them. And
Yep.
so my mom was really excited. And so you go in and they give you, they have different locations, just like they do with the Halloween party.
Yep.
And they give you a cookie and a hot chocolate or a cookie, but you can go multiple times. So my mom and I were kind of oh, let's see who can get the most cookies.
Like a bouquet of cookies
Yeah.
by the end of the night.
So-
Cheryl's cookies are really good too.
Yeah, so we have a nice pile of Cheryl's cookies for to spread throughout the season, and the
That and your
fireworks.
final H2O collection.
Right.
Yeah, we
H2O.
we got that too.
Guests come to your house and they get shampoo and a cookie.
That is true. I when my mom's coming and I get the room all ready and she has her own bathroom and I set out all the little
my
H2O.
God.
That's awesome.
Like a
I do
Disney
that too.
resort. It's
Yeah.
she's staying at a Disney resort, so she likes it. But the fireworks, I was really impressed with the fireworks. We haven't been to a Christmas party for a while, since I think 2019 because it changed a little bit
Mhm.
from the pandemic. And since it's been brought back, the fireworks are just beautiful. It's just
Yeah.
they're not like overly like cartoony. It's
Mhm.
very traditional, really
Oh, I
pretty
haven't seen them. I
music.
can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and my favorite thing, my mom sat this one out, but Paul and I did it. Space Mountain, the overlay that they do.
That looks so awesome.
Yeah, with the music and
Oh,
the
so
lights,
cool.
it's amazing. And if you don't like riding it, if you get on the People Mover, you
can
go
get through it.
inside
Yeah.
and you can see a lot of it, like a
Oh,
lot more than
that's
I
so
realized
great.
that you could see because of
Yeah.
the lights being on.
Is that only for the Christmas party, or is that all the time through the holiday season?
It's only during the Christmas party.
Okay, so that's a great
Yeah.
little tip there. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Do they play like a different song each time, or is it the same like
I
holiday
think it's
music?
the same. It's kind of like I don't know if it's like a Trans-Siberian or like a
Mm.
Mannheim
Oh,
Steamroller.
that
It's
makes
like
sense. Yeah, yeah.
one of those style. Yeah. I usually know their songs, but I don't think I think it's in that style.
Well, and you're on
Yeah.
Space Mountain too, so it's hard to listen
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
While your head is
I know, while
flying.
your head's moving around. We're so now like Guardians, spoiled. Like
Oh,
every
I
time you
love
get on it,
that
there's something
ride.
So
different. But
smooth and
yeah,
new songs.
yeah, exactly. You can hear the music and everything. That's awesome. So Mickey's, is it still called Very Merry Christmas? Or
Yeah,
is it
Mickey's Very Merry Christmas
Very Merry
Party.
Christmas. That does it.
Yeah.
Did you get the picture? Like
Yes,
isn't
and
that
they have an
beautiful?
ornament this year
Yes,
too.
I was talking about that
Yeah,
earlier. Isn't that
it's really
amazing?
pretty.
It
Yeah.
makes me
Yeah.
want to go just for those
No,
things.
Yeah.
it's so pretty. And I just think when they do things like that, we talk a lot about price and we talk a lot about value and things like that. But for the additional cost of that, you get all of the memories, a bunch of Cheryl's cookies, apparently, that you
Yeah.
can take home. And now you have, holiday treats for your guests. But then to have something memorable
Yeah.
from that. I know when we did the 50th
Yeah.
and all of the stuff that we got, the beautiful picture of the
And
castle.
leaving with like
Yeah.
something to like have that
Something
reminder
to commemorate it
Yes.
along with your family pictures and memories. I love
Yeah.
when Disney does that.
Yeah, the ornament is beautiful.
It
And
is.
we've already put it on our tree. We put our tree
Yeah.
up before my mom came. So
Oh, so special.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I guess we have to talk about Monera because that's what we told everybody,
Well,
right?
what I want to do is go into like how you got started, right? Because
Yeah.
I remember it from our end, which
Yeah.
is so funny. Because I remember we had got to know you guys through the Diz and DVC fan, but I do want to hear your side of it. But from our side, we had Paul starting on the rental store
Right.
side, and I remember Nick, who, if you've watched our episode, he's the CEO of World of DVC, make a mention of like, I wish that we had somebody like a Paul at Monera.
That's right.
And then he was like, wait, Paul has a wife.
Right. we found a Paul. She's just prettier. That's what he always says, right? And then all of a sudden, Amy's
Amy
here.
arrives.
Yes.
Here I
Yeah.
am.
So get us started, like,
Yeah.
bring us to kind of your history with getting involved with the Diz, and then kind of your view of how it started with you coming over to World of DVC.
Oh my goodness, where do I start with this? So one day in April, I can't remember what year. It's been a few years. I want to say around 2019 or so. My husband like woke me up early in the morning and said, Amy, my dreams are coming true. Pete Warner messaged me.
Oh.
And so he had been watching the Diz for a long time. He was a big fan of the show. And I think on one of his shows, he had mentioned his interest. Pete had mentioned his interest in purchasing Disney Vacation Club and starting some sort of, website, informational website. There were some out there, but not a ton, DVC related at that time. And Paul, I think, just like bucked up the courage and sent a message. And so, they corresponded, and the DVC fan website and Facebook group, were born that April. And Paul was the first, contributor. Like, he was it. And so it was Paul and Pete. And,
Oh my gosh.
Paul would write articles and Pete would write articles and Paul would edit them and get them up. And so it kind of grew from there. Eventually, I joined in and I started, writing and being part of the group. And so the group grew. I think it's like in the 20,000s or 21,000, members right now. And the website grew. And this has been, I think it's been like 3 years. And eventually, the World of DVC, I think around, I don't know, like 2021, 2020, I can't remember. 2020, yeah, I don't remember exactly. Became a sponsor of the group. And that's where we met Nick and, some of you guys. And then I think at one time, Paul had gone to Indianapolis.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just to like meet with meet the team. He wasn't employed yet. I think he really like fell in love with the company and everything the company stood for, and was just, when he came home, he was, I really want to work for them. and I remember him saying to me, I was a teacher, an English teacher for 11 years. And he said, you would love this company. They're sitting around in Spirit jerseys booking vacations for people. And so he's like, that's like
Not
your
grading
MO.
papers of middle schoolers.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I got like 30 Spirit jerseys. I could qualify for that, right? No, but it's the same thing. All those little things that change your trajectory of your life, and just things, the way they fall into place, and whether it's meant to be or not. And so I remember, I think there was a job posting, and at DVC, I think it might have been like a tech type job, and Paul applied for it, and he wasn't qualified at that time for that particular job, but I think he wanted to interview and meet people and just have that conversation started, and of course, he didn't get the job, but I think he made some connections, some lasting connections. And eventually, when something came up that was more fitting for him, then he interviewed for that and got it. And so Paul started with the company, and I remained a teacher. And eventually, when I think this was May, this was May. I'm getting my years mixed up. I'm trying to think. So we've been moved for a year.
Probably
May
2021.
Yeah, it all kind of runs together. Yeah. But, so Paul started 2021 in May. Yes.
Yeah. So eventually Paul's like, no, we need to move. Like we're gonna need to start looking at moving. And so I did start doing other things for Pete Warner at that time. I started writing for his Moving to Orlando website, and so that was a lot of not just real estate based research and information, but Disney, because the whole premise of Moving to Orlando was people like us who wanted to move and be closer to something that brings them happiness, Disney World. And so a lot of the content that I put out was Disney related, and a lot of DVC members moved to this area.
Yes, they did.
Like, you would be surprised. There's like a big audience that likes to.
The neighbor behind me down the street moved because Pete encouraged his listeners and said moving to Orlando. And so he bought and built a house where I bought and built a house.
Oh, wow.
From Miami.
See? It's a small world.
It is a small world.
And my mom loves that ride. I took her on it during the party. So I was doing that. I was still a teacher. The end of the school year came, and we're like, we got to move, So we bought a house that was like a inventory, being built. You don't really get to pick a lot of things, but it was just, the best case scenario for us. We liked the neighborhood. It had enough, bedrooms that we could each have an office and a guest room for family to come visit. And so we started that process. And we went to Alani in June, right after I got out of school, and did like an Alani Disney World trip. So Alani for so many days, Disney World. And Paul and I were walking through Disney Springs, and he gets a call from Nick Cotton, and Nick's like, what's your wife doing? and that's how it started. And they just, we need someone at Monera. This is what we're looking for. We need someone that's good with math and this. And I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you. I used to avoid math, like the plague. And now I do it every single day. Yeah. So you can do anything. Yeah. I told Paul, I was like, this reminds me of when I was in college. I was a waitress, and I just really wanted to find something different to do, and I wanted a job where I could stay on campus. And I had a friend that worked for the housing maintenance department, and they painted like the dorm rooms and stuff. And I was like, man, I'd like to do that. And so they interviewed me, and they're like, you know how to paint? I'm like, oh yeah, I paint. I know how to paint all the time. I never painted before. And I just like, I don't like to lie, but I tell you what, I learned how to paint, and now I like paint all, I did all the painting in our houses and stuff, throughout the years. Funny. So you can learn anything.
It's such a story of like manifesting your dreams, like not to get too deep here, but I love that like Paul said, like my dreams are coming true, Amy, and like you can just see how you guys, wanted to make a change, and you made a change, and you love Disney so much, and you not so much at the beginning, and then falling in love with it and bringing your moms, and now living here, and you can just see the whole, like you said, the whole trajectory of just the manifesting of like what you love to do.
Yeah, you can really do anything that you put your mind to, and people ask us all the time, like, wow, we want to move and we want to do what you guys did, and I'm like, you can do it.
You can do it.
Just do it.
And if it doesn't work out, you figure it out. But absolutely. And you've been with Monera now for over a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in
you
July.
stepped into a leadership position.
Yeah.
Into management, which has been great. So now you have a team, and now you sit on all the leadership things and things like that. Yeah, I think it's been such a great journey for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the company. I love my coworkers. I love talking to the guests that call us, and it's funny because so many of them watch the DVC show and watch your guys' show, and so it's always like, oh, I saw you on this. I
feel like I know you.
Amy?
Yeah.
Well, and I think what's so great too is coming from like the cast member side and being a direct guide when it comes to the financing, right? That can get to be where it gets very tricky. And as we've mentioned here before, Disney's standards when it comes to financing are quite high, and they don't always release those standards. And so the hardest part of getting somebody to join Disney Vacation Club is when they're like, yes, I'm ready. I'm so excited. And they want to finance, right? And that's not like a crazy thought. And then you go and you have to come back and say, I'm really, really sorry. It was denied.
It's the worst.
It's not even that they have like horrible credit. It's just that the standards might just be a little bit different when it comes to Disney Vacation Club. And so I think that's what's so incredible with Monera and how simple it is. I had a guest who emailed me today, and he's like, hey, I'm ready to buy. I've already checked the loan quote on Monera. Everything looks good. What do I need to do?
Oh
and
my
I was
gosh.
like, just click the button. We'll get in touch with you. And he's like,
Right.
it's that easy? And I was like, it's that. And that's what I love is just kind of that seamless, like, yes, the resale process can take about 60 days from start to finish. So you have to be a little patient on that. But the steps in between, whether it's financing with Monera or closing with Magic Vacation Title, it's all in-house. We all communicate. I mean, we just had an email back and forth where a guest wanted to change their purchase and finance it. And they needed the trust info. And it was like within, I think, a matter of like one business hour, it was like bing, 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 bing.
Oh, it was
done.
so nice. 5 minutes.
Yes. We had everything pulled. We had their trust docs. We had it shifted over to financing. So that's one of the cool things is to really see us come not just in-house, but then just kind of see those like that synergy, that seamless transition. And I think like what I would love to share with the guests is just that process. Like, let's say, sorry, I'm a new buyer. And I go, okay, this is the contract I like. Walk us through the step from like start to finish on what the financing looks like.
Right.
Yeah, of course. So there's not one right way. So there's a lot of different ways to go about it. When you're on DVC Resale Market's website and you're putting in an offer, our instant quote calculator tool is actually right there. So a lot of people will include the financing right then and there when they make their offer. And that's one way to do it. If you do it that way, then we always say within 1 business day, it's usually a lot faster than that. My team is very, very quick, but just depending on what time of day you do it. But within 1 business day, you'll receive an approval email from us, and it just, it'll approve you based on what terms you chose. If you did a credit check, there is an additional step because we don't pull your social security number and the information needed to check credit right then and there. You submit that you want a credit check, and then we send you the secure form, and then you send that back. So then that's just the extra step for that.
And really, to pause on that really quickly, I think what's so amazing, and we've talked about it before, but you have 2 choices. So you can do the no credit check option. So regardless of what your credit looks like, you have a finance option for any of the DVC locations. And so for those of you who've looked at this before, it may have just included Florida properties at one time. Now it's any property when it comes to DVC. It's literally one button. You get approval, and you have 3 different loan options, and you can adjust that calculator. Now, if you say, hey, I have like excellent to the moon credit, and I want to leverage that the best way possible, then take advantage of that credit check option. Very simple. Choose what you think your credit would be, and then they'll confirm everything right after.
Yeah, and the no credit check, it's basically like a guaranteed, financing, like your guaranteed approval. So pre-approval isn't really a thing, that is needed. So if you want to wait until you have the accepted offer, that's another option we'll talk about in a second. But another reason that a lot of people might choose to not have their credit pulled, you might have fantastic credit, but you might be trying to protect that credit because you have something coming up, like a car or a house that you're buying. And so you're like, oh, I don't really want that inquiry on my credit score. Some people will choose the the no credit check option to protect their credit. So
That's
there's
a good point.
There's a lot of reasons. Yeah. So we have both of those options. And so, if you're doing it on the calculator on DVC Resale Market's website, then you're doing your financing, you're submitting it when you are putting in your offer. And then we'll take it from there and walk you through the next, with your approval, or if you need to fill out the secure form for the credit check, we'll take it from there. If you do it that way and let's say you negotiate, a different price, say it's $120 a point you offer and you end up negotiating it to, $122 a point, then once we receive that contract, we'll make those adjustments for you and we'll let you know, and you'll receive all the information that you need. The other option is that you can go to our website, which is monerafinancial.com, and our instant quote tool is there also. So if you are the type of person that's like, I like to wait until I know the exact price of my contract, I want to put in offers, maybe I'm putting in offers on a few, then you can wait. After your accepted offer, you can go to our website and click on the instant quote tool, and it's the same tool that you see on the DVC Resale Market website, and you can do it there. And the other great thing about our website is that tool can actually serve as a resource while you're shopping around, right? You can use it as much as you want while, plugging in different contracts while you're shopping, and you don't have to apply just to use it.
Get a good estimate.
To see what sort of financing, options are available, because it does vary based on the contract.
Right.
So then I get my resale contract. I get the initial purchase. So we've talked through the buying side when we had Jody on for an episode. But I know, like, just personally from financing, like, our home and all of that, there's so many pages and documents and requirements, and you're like, I have to pull out my whole life file to qualify for this. So what are the necessary items you need to finance a contract with Monera?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we get asked that a lot. Like, hey, do you need proof of employment? Do you need income verification? Do you need this and that? We don't need any of that. And the reason is because Disney Vacation Club holds so much value, as a product. It's so valuable that the contract itself serves as the collateral. We don't require, any additional information. If you're choosing not to have your credit checked, then we're not going to pull your credit. We don't ask for your income or your employment information or anything like that, right? We just ask for basic contact information, your name, your email, your address, and that's really about it. Now we will collect your social security number through a W-9 in your closing packet. And that is because it is a mortgage loan. And because of that, we have to legally obtain that information so we can send you a 1098 each year for tax purposes.
Right. And that's a benefit too, because a lot of people can leverage that. Again, talk to your CPA and get more details. Yeah. But you could leverage that in some scenarios for some types of write-offs. So again, another great value with that. And the thing that a lot of people ask us about is, so if I need to pay this off early or put more down, what does that look like? And there's no prepayment penalty.
I was just going to say that there's no prepayment penalty, which is so good. So even if I think about the holiday time right now, right? If you're trying to surprise somebody and you may not have the cash right now, but you know you will in January, February, just do a finance quick for right now. There's no prepayment penalty. And then like you had under the Christmas tree, your DVC,
surprise.
Exactly. Your DVC surprise.
Yeah.
Because there is no prepayment.
And penalty. We have a lot of guests that will do that, and myself included. Like Paul and I have a Monera loan right now, and what we did was we looked at all the numbers and we're like, you know what, let's just take the 12-year term because the monthly payment is low, and then every month that we have extra money, we'll put it on the it goes towards the principal. And when it's a simple interest loan, it's very similar to a home mortgage. So as soon as you make an extra payment, it reduces the principal. That in turn automatically reduces the term. So you'll be paying for less months. And then over the life of the loan, you're actually saving interest compared to if you would wait and pay, to maturity. So that's a good way to actually save, on the interest that you're paying is to make those extra payments. But then something like Christmas rolls around, or, my mom's birthday last week, where I feel like I spent a ton of money on her. I just wanted her to have a great time. That might be the month that I back off and I just pay my low monthly payment. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
I love that you use your product. It's like DVC, when I worked for DVC rental stores specifically, I thought I have to rent out points. I have to understand how this works. I can't really be talking about something that I have not used. And so actually use Monera yourself.
Yeah, we did. And speaking of, we used DVC rental store for the first time. We had some Grand Cal points a little off topic, but
No,
we had some Grand Cal points that we weren't going to use because we had just gone, and so we're like, we really want to go on an Alaskan cruise, so let's rent those out. And so
wonderful.
that was seamless.
For the future, I will take those points, rent them to me.
Exactly. That's awesome. So
But
now
that's-
putting that towards an Alaska cruise.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's what's so great about, I think, our team.
I do. Yeah,
I'm going to
agree.
give our
I
team a
do,
little
yeah.
shout out.
No.
But we are, it's not just that, like, we're here to talk about the product. We're literally
Living it, yeah.
living and breathing it. And I mean, from your journey of becoming a DVC member
Yes.
and financing and even renting, like I was just talking about earlier, I had the chance to take advantage of the discounted points for DVC rental store where I was like, I'm doing another weekend at Vero Beach. And so that's the great thing is our team is so extremely knowledgeable that when you're coming online, when you're going to monerafinancial.com and going on chat or giving them a call, they're not just going to give you like a straight answer of like, this is what we need to say. Their team knows it and lives it and breathes it and knows all the little tricks and ins and outs. So they're extremely knowledgeable. One thing that I have loved that you started doing, Amy, is your blog for Monera.
Yes.
And that is so awesome because we get a lot of people who go, hey, I'm looking for a contract, but I want like the lowest down payment option possible. What do I have? And so, Amy, can you explain what you've done with your blog that you send out monthly?
Yeah, so it's a monthly blog that is basically my top choices for contracts listed on DVC Resale Market that have low upfront cost. So what I did was I looked at contracts where Monera offers like as low as 5% down payments, which is our
crazy.
Yeah, which is as low as like
Try to do that
$500.
anywhere else.
Yeah, so some of those down payments are as low as $500. And those are on the no credit check side. So I stuck with no credit check so that it was applicable to anybody.
Right.
And so I found these contracts and I looked and there was a lot of really good ones. Really a lot of good contracts, where we can offer 5% down and low annual dues cost. Maybe, the owner had used some of the points and so you didn't have a lot of upfront costs from annual dues. And so I took the down payment, the annual dues, and the closing costs, which are the three things that make up your estimated cash to close. And I determined, how much would you owe at closing after your deposit was applied. So the deposit is what you put down to kind of like hold the contract, and that becomes a credit at closing. And a lot of people like that deposit because you can use a credit card, so they like to like get the miles and stuff like that. And so I had found, I think this month, they were all in the like $300 range at closing.
That's awesome.
After the deposit was applied. And I list how much the deposit is just to give you the full
really
details. Last month, just because of, where annual dues were at and because a lot of, at that time, a lot of the contracts were getting credits for 2023.
Yeah.
I had actually like 3 or so contracts where the buyer would get money back.
Oh my gosh.
At closing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I thought that
Unheard
was
of.
kind of neat.
Yeah.
Like, you get some money back.
Exactly.
And that's such a key point. I think if you are looking to finance and you're looking for, hey, what's the best way that I can get the lowest upfront cost? One, check Amy's blog.
Right.
MoneraFinancial.com. Check the blog section. You can also sign up for our newsletter at DVC Resale Market because we do publish that every month. And we'll add that blog in every month as well. But I think some of the key takeaways that Amy had mentioned are, one, if you want that lower upfront cost, look for a contract that has no points in that current year so you're not having to pay dues. So if you're saying, hey, we're going to be going to Disney maybe in the next year or so, then look for a contract that has no 2023 points because then you're not on the hook for dues there. The seller's going to go ahead and take care of those. And then the other thing is closing costs. Closing costs and dues can't be rolled into the financing. Those come out of pocket. So that is a strategic negotiating tool where you can go. Yeah, we'll come back for that. But if you're looking to negotiate, you can work with one of our agents and say, hey, I want that lower upfront cost. We'll partner with Monera to find those contracts for you. But keep in mind that you can negotiate those closing costs until we can roll them in at Monera. But that way you can go ahead and take that. And then maybe you put in like a full price offer, but negotiate closing costs, which is equal to about like anywhere from $3 to $7 per point. So similar to your normal negotiation, but it takes away that upfront cost.
And, something else is that, sometimes there's this like stigma around financing DVC, like, oh, it's a luxury purchase, maybe you shouldn't finance it. But, Paul and I, And obviously the math is going to be different for everybody.
Sure.
But when Paul and I purchased our first Animal Kingdom 160-point resale contract in 2018, we financed it through Monera. So
You
like,
did that
yeah,
then too? Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So we were Monera borrowers way back. It feels like it was way back. It's only like, I don't know how many years.
4 years ago,
Yeah,
5 years ago.
But so we financed it with Monera, and at that time I think they only had no credit check loans. So we did that, and it was a 4-year term. And we did, we made a few extra payments here and there when we could. And when we paid that contract off, I could go and look and see how much we paid in the interest. And at that time, I looked at how much contracts were selling for. And I said to Paul, I was like, you know what? If we had waited and didn't buy, and we had waited until we had saved up that cash, it would have taken us at least the like 3.5 years that it took us to pay it off, at least. But what happens when you're saving, like you always find other uses, for that money. And so it would have taken us like 3 to 4 years to save. And in that time, the amount that the inflation, of the contract had gone up double what we had paid in interest.
That's a great comparison.
Yeah, it was double what the interest was.
Wow.
And so not only did we save, that amount by purchasing it earlier, financing it at that time, but we also got to use it.
I was just going to say that you got to use it then for those years.
For those years. And so, look and see if it makes sense for you. But sometimes, waiting to save, you still are up against, the price increases and things like that. Obviously, the numbers are different for everyone, but for us, it really worked out that we financed.
What I used to say too to the buyers too at DVC is that you can crunch the numbers all you want on an Excel spreadsheet. This is an emotional purchase.
It's so
when you were going to
much.
make the memories with your mom. We're looking at now taking my Grand Floridian points that I purchased this year and going to Hilton Head actually for a weekend with my parents that are coming. They're going to come after the new year and whatnot. So I think they've been to Hilton Head but never Disney's Hilton Head, and what better way to do that and for them to not even have to contribute to that because I have the points, or to give them a stay somewhere. So it's like you got to think about the memories.
It's
too,
very much an emotional purchase.
It is.
And we're reading that leadership book, for our thing. And for me, it's about like the why, like why we do what we do.
Yes.
Like we believe that it should be accessible to everyone, that you should be able to purchase DVC and enjoy it and stay at those resorts and make those memories with your family.
It's so different too when you can stay at the deluxe resorts or have a washer dryer, have a 1-bedroom, have the proximity to run back and take a nap, or have the kids go back and have a snack or whatever. We're reading Start With Why from Simon Sinek, just so in case anyone's wondering out there.
You can grab that book
for the
it's
leadership.
A great book.
Yeah, it really is. It's for our leadership summit, and but it really puts it into perspective about the why we do things, and if we just sit and kind of never make that decision, and sort of taking that leap of faith, I mean, you just never know what memories you might have from that, how that could change your life.
I mean, for us, we're really bad about taking time off. So we're like, go. And so with DVC, it's always this reminder of like, I have these points. We have to do something, right? And so whether that is like, we have a night coming up the Friday before Christmas at the Grand Floridian. And whether it's just taking that and just saying like, this is going to be just a staycation like weekend, right? Or going out, like for us, we go to Vero Beach, but it's just that time where we go, we have these points, we need to use them. It's that forced vacation, but we always leave so refreshed with our buckets full. And it's just that we didn't have to go and plan a big trip. And for some people, that's what they buy DVC for. But for other people, it's just that opportunity to say, we've got these points. What can we do as a family and make that memory?
Yeah. For
So
us,
true.
it was an investment in our happiness. And being able to go and enjoy it.
Well, and now like looking forward to, I have a certain birthday coming up. Not soon, but like 2 years from now.
Derek's soon.
Not Derek's birthday, but almost. But anyway, I'm looking at like Hawaii in a couple of years and Aulani and thinking, if I kind of, bank some of those points and use some of those points as well, instead of paying the hotel rate that it's going to be in 2-3 years, right? To start planning that now.
You'll pay your membership.
Yes, exactly. I will pay my membership just about the way I want a vacation, and start that now.
Yeah.
And start
if you
planning.
want to look at the value of DVC, look at trying to pay cash for Aulani.
Yeah. I have.
goodness.
Right then and there.
I have. And that was one of the main reasons, honestly. I thought, I want these points anyway, because it just, for us, it made sense. events. We are local. We are a little bit planners sometimes, but when it comes to Disney, it's definitely spur of the moment. But I thought, in a couple years, I'm going to want to do something a little bit bigger, and I don't want to pay those prices. I don't want to have the parking lot view when I could just use points for the ocean view. I'm not going to go to Hawaii and not have the ocean view, but you're still going to pay like $600 or $700 a night for a standard room.
Yeah.
So it's really, sometimes it's an investment in your future. Sometimes it's something to use right now. But that's what the teams are so great at. Resale market, Monera Financial, and then rental store. If you're not going to use those points for a little bit, you still have that avenue, to use something else.
And I think it's so cool, like the strategy you mentioned, just even the math, because I know you and Paul are very strategic, right?
Yeah.
And like your numbers and all that. So again, for people wondering, like, does this make sense to start now or buy later? That team is going to be so helpful in kind of running those numbers for you. Again, not that we can predict the future, but some insight on like, this is what the market's done.
Yeah.
This is the reality. What makes sense today?
Right.
I will say, as we kind of finish up here, one of our longstanding traditions is this or that. But since we don't have questions for you, what I wanted to do is flip it. Because one thing we did start in the very beginning of this show, and we've kind of gone away from that. And we talked about your favorite Disney memory. But what I want to know is your favorite World of DVC memory so far.
Oh my goodness.
I put you on the spot.
That,
This is
totally on the
Should
spot.
have given me a little bit of a notice.
And you don't have to
research.
say sitting here with Marissa and I, because
mean,
we know
if you
that's
want
a
to.
given.
See, I have so many good ones though. So I had a really great time with our team when we went to the Christmas party, both the Indianapolis Christmas party and the Orlando one last year, and I'm really looking forward to that this year. When we did DizCon, and we set up our table and we had our wheel, and Pat Sajak came over and spun it.
He did, for real.
That was just a really cool memory with you guys, and sharing World DVC with others, and I just really enjoyed talking to all the guests that came and spoke with us. But I
think you got stopped the most at just our table. People would like beeline to Amy.
to Amy and Paul. It's true. And I remember working with Amy for the first time. I think that was the first time we really kind of worked alongside you. And I just remember like the three of us, and Derek was there and Paul, and it was like, Amy's got a backpack and answering questions, and Marissa's handing me a hat, and I'm handing off the hat, and Marissa's getting a t-shirt, and Derek's talking this. Like, I thought, this is synergy right here. Like, it was, you just never know sometimes when a group of people come together, how they're going to work together. And I just remember walking away being like, I just like Amy and Paul so much. Like, hard workers and just love Disney and represent so well. And so I love those memories. Yeah.
We love you too.
We've flown a couple times together as well up to Indy
and
have had so much fun. And I know we sat next to each other. And
I'll never look at Twizzlers.
I know. You had to wear your
salon.
mask. And so we were kind of like, if you eat a Twizzler, you can take your mask off, because that was back when you had to, COVID didn't exist if you had your mask off and you were eating something. So we got all kinds of Twizzlers.
We're role followers. But
we are. But I remember thinking, I don't talk a lot on the
Twizzlers.
plane, but I was like, I don't get to know Amy that well. And so I was like, I don't want to talk her ear off. But we had a nice conversation. And then we read and slept. And I'm so glad you came on. I know that this was a last minute.
Yeah.
Have a seat, Amy. We're so glad.
Join us. We need to talk about Monera.
We're so glad that you decided to come all the way up from
you.
South Florida.
And I got to learn a lot about your story that I didn't know. So that was awesome.
Yep, they've got a great story.
Yeah.
Very inspirational. So, and also, Derek had mentioned before about, everything that you say in the comments. Reach out to Amy too if you have any questions about your journey. I would assume you're okay with doing that. I put him right on the spot for this too.
Amy, how can our audience reach you? Or your team?
You would be surprised, but I get emails all the time to my Monera email asking me like for information on like, moving to Florida. And like just other, non like Disney related things, but not related to Monera. And it's okay. I like, I answer them. And so, and one time I wore like a new pair of glasses on the DVC show.
I remember that.
Someone asked me about them. So, Zenny.com.
We're going to get you an affiliate link and start making commission on those glasses.
Click the link below. This is
so
been so
if
fun.
somebody wants to reach out and has financing questions, obviously the website, and then is there a good email for them to just send like those generic questions over to?
Yeah, so the best one is info@monerafinancial.com. That will get to all of us, and whoever's available, from my team will respond. We're very quick at responding. We aren't commission based. We all, there's three of us on the loan origination team, and we all three work together to just, do the best that we can to give the best customer service and answer you, in a quick and efficient manner. Megan
Yeah, my sister-in-law just got to join the team.
Is
It's
our
all in the
newest-
family.
Yeah, and we absolutely love Megan. So Megan and myself and Sam, so the three of us,
great team.
are your main point of contacts. And if you start with one of us, another one of us might jump in. So you'll see our pictures and our names at the bottom of our emails, and you'll know that you're being really well taken care of.
Do you know that your acronym is SAM? Sam, Amy, and Megan. I just realized that. Sorry,
I did not realize
weird
that.
things
the
Have to
queen
go
of
share that.
acronyms.
Weird things my brain thinks of.
my
I'm like, they're like
goodness.
Team Mass and Sam. Yeah, Sam. So it's meant to be.
I have to tell them that,
Yes.
so they'll enjoy that. But info@monerafinancial.com. We also have a chat feature on our website. So if you go to our website during our business hours, it'll be on. You can hop on there and ask any kind of questions. So we'll be able to answer you there. And then our phone, which I don't know the number by heart, but
That's okay.
We'll put it
it's
up
on
on
our
the screen for you.
website. Yeah, it's all over our website. So give us a call, reach out through email, get on our chat, whatever is easiest for you works for us.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Well, Amy, thank you so much for
Yes,
joining
thank
us. I'm sure our
you.
audience loved to hear all about your story and Monera. So we got a kind of a double whammy out of that
yeah,
one.
definitely.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And of course, we do want to give away that $150 gift card to one lucky winner out there. So what do you need to do to win that? Of course, just participate. So make sure you give us a thumbs up or a subscribe, or you can put a 5-star review in iTunes or Apple Podcasts, and then leave a comment below. Again, we want to hear about your future Disney trips, what you have planned. If you happen to find us in the parks, that might be extra points on December 7th. But again, one of you will win that $150 Disney gift card. Make sure you email us and let us know that you participated. And you can email us at info@worldofdvc.com, and we will announce the winner on the next show.
That was awesome, Amy.
Thank you.
I feel smarter already.
Well,
Shorter. Are you kneeling?
And I'm shorter already, too. That was great. So, Amy, thank you so much for taking the time to come out. I know our audience is going to love it and reach out to us with questions. So, other than that, if I'm not mistaken, and Amy, you correct me if I'm wrong, it's our long-standing
long-standing
tradition. Ready? 3, 2, 1. We'll see
you real soon.
Hop, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Please remove your headphones, step back into reality, have a magical day, and we'll see you real soon.